Hello traders and welcome to our market update today on the 25th of October 2019, and it's still Napan here, founder of Master the Markets Illustrates Conference and the Traders Open Day. So here we are towards the end of the week and actually towards the end of the month as well. Wow, time really flies, right? 2 more months and that's it. We'll be flying into 2020. Right, so how did we perform before we talk about our performance? I'm going to be talking about just the topic for now. And the topic today is three price patterns. Okay, three price patterns for capturing turning points. Okay, three price patterns. Right. Now, what are the three critical price patterns that you can be looking at in terms of capturing turning points? Now, imagine one thing. Most traders out there all will be looking at vertical bars. Okay, vertical bars. I guess the name itself makes it really obvious. Vertical bars, as in either or a Chelsea bar with a left and a right horizontal line, or a candlestick, right? But regardless whether it's a candlestick or whether it's a OHLC bar, they're all vertical, aren't they? Because they're not horizontal like this, they're vertical, right? So they're all vertical bars. Now, in vertical bars, if you're looking at a vertical bar chart, rather than just looking at close prices. If you're looking at that, then there are three important price patterns that you can be looking at to capture turning points, right? Now, you see, logically, to capture a turning point, if something has got to become the highest point, what must we get after that? We must get selling to happen, is it not? So if we must get selling to happen, then there's always a bar which is the highest point. Now, before the selling happens, you don't know, of course, whether that bar is going to become the highest point or not. So we will call this highest bar, if you're capturing it and predicting it to become the turning point, we'll call that the potential swing bar. Okay? Right. Looking back in hindsight, yeah, I can say, hey, you know what, that's a high point, right? And I can say, yeah, that was the swing bar. But before the selling happens, we will call it a potential swing bar because we want to predict it based on probabilities, and then that's how we make the money, isn't it? Most times, and we get it right and get it right at a much more profits than in the losses, right? Great. So the highest bar, we'll call it the potential swing bar. Now, the bar following that, right? So that's the first price pattern you'll be looking for, potential swing bar. Now, how do you find the potential swing bar and all of that? I mean, that's a different question altogether. One indicator I can give you, which we have talked about as well, is at the highest point, look for a bar which closes below its mid-range. It's just one indicator we can be using. Okay, closes below its mid-range at the highest point. We talk a lot about this in our live trading webinar as well. So come on to that, jump onto that. It's totally free and you can learn much about that and real-time market conditions too. Right, so that's the potential swing bar. The next one we are looking at is the primary, okay? And that's the second bar that comes in the turning point. Now, for anything to drop further in a vertical bar chart, you see, traders, it's got to take out the low, isn't it, of the previous bar, right? So a primary pattern, as I've shown here, this red bar, it doesn't even need to be a red bar. It doesn't matter if it's a red bar, green bar. As long as it takes out the low of the highest bar, the PSWB, then it's called the primary. Okay, so that's the second price pattern. So PSWB, primary. Then, so let me just make sure that you guys got it right. So you got the highest bar over here, and then after that, the next bar, right? The next bar takes out the low of the previous bar, and that's what we call the primary, right? Okay. Right, okay, so we got the primary now. Then the final thing is the next bar is in vertical bars, the only way the price can drop further and further is taking out the previous low. Then the next one is takes out the low of the primary, and that is what we call the secondary. Okay, so you can design strategies based on this. So you have to identify PSWBs, primaries, and the final one is called the secondary. Okay, as a homework, do it on your side for the upside. Okay, so after selling happens, selling, then look to see if you can get the diagrams right for a PSWB to the upside. Okay, we talk, as I mentioned, we talk more about this in our live trading webinar. So just a quick recap: three price patterns. First, the top one that starts off the selling or the buying is a PSWB, followed by the primary, which takes out the high or the low of the PSWB, then followed by the secondary, which will take out the low or the high of the primary, whichever direction that you are looking at. Okay, great. So that's on the topic. So go and digest that information. A quick look on the markets. What do we have? A bit of a downtrend on the dollar, showing a little bit of a selling signal. You can see that over here. Yeah, that could be a potential swing bar, isn't it? I mean, selling starting. Is it going to go further down? That's going to become the highest point. Those are things that you can start to think about, whether you're looking at an old Chelsea or a candlestick. Right, next, here up, dollar, but still showing a little bit of weakness. This thing is struggling over here, this high point here. Still not confirming according to our algos. So let's see how that plans out to be. Cable, on the other hand, still remaining a bit stable at 12818. Probably there'll be a bit of a selling pressure. Usually the turning point can't happen that fast. So let's see, but still showing an uptrend. Euro dollar, again, probably here a bit of a selling pressure as well before it starts to turn. Aussie dollar, what do we have at the moment? Up as well. Traders, let's see, it might be a first interruption on Aussie. So let's see how that plans out to be. Euro yen, again, still showing up as well. I still feel there's a higher probability to the downside a little bit more. Bitcoin, taken a bit of a hit, 7589 on a strong downtrend at the moment. Dollar yen on a retracement over here. Oil, down as well, at 56 at the moment. Is a bit of a retracement here. Let's see, gold still stabilized over 1005, down at the moment. More weakness if it does take out the 1452 level. Let's see if it does do that. Quick look at the weekly, still showing a very strong uptrend over here on oil, on gold. Dow Jones, yeah, Dow is still hovering, is it not? 26773. On the weekly, it's let's see, it's a SMC as well. Yeah, that's right. It's a single market compression at the moment. Parabolic is still to the downside. I believe that there's a higher probability to the downside. We'll see how that turns out to be. Okay. Okay, I guess that's pretty much on the market front. On our trading performance, just a quick look over here. On the live, on the elite room, smart money, there was no trades. First interruptions, no trades. Trend runners, OE runners, no trades. Swing profits was the one that we had, and that was, we took it on the Aussie dollar here. We had a 0.92% profit, or 33 pips. Okay, profit over here is what we had. So if you were to take a look at that, you can see over here we just made 0.92% there. And that trade was basically looking at turning points again, as what I had mentioned before. And we basically entered on this bar here, second bar, primary, and then getting into secondary. Different strategy based on different parameters. Now, based on then the live trading room, lift off, there's no trade. Go bars, no trade. Money bars, there was 0.52%. And we had a minus 25 pips on that one there. So that was on money bars. So money bars is capturing the PSWB, but however we didn't capture that. It wasn't actually what we had been looking for. We actually did catch it, but we were stopped out. So we did catch the highest bar, but we got caught out by this big bar here with the news and the ECB with Draghi coming in, and that's where we got stopped out on that one. Hey, that happens, but you reduce your losses and you keep going, right? So that's how the trader's game is. Okay, great. So when we add that all up, so what do we then have? So let me see, what do we then have? Let me just check on the elite. Right, so if we do that, then what we then have is, okay, so live trading room minus 0.52, elite room is plus 0.92%, we got minus 25 here, and we got plus 33 pips here. So overall, we got 0.40% up and 8 pips up. Okay, is what we got on this strategies. All right, 0.40% up and 8 pips up. I guess that wraps up my analysis for today. Have a digest on all the information I've given you, and also always remember, very critical, that always keep a trade log, always trade performance, always keep reviewing how you're done for the week. Very, very important to keep ahead of the game. And with that, I'll leave you all. And as always, as we say till next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.